Hi.
Hi, everybody. That was Miguel. We're going into week 8. I hope all of you are enjoying your time at home. Let's go ahead and get started on our new assignment this week. Have fun at home. Bye bye. This week we will be looking at fractions, deciding which fraction is represented by each model, or we will go into fractions on a number line, or comparing fractions, and then in the end, finding fractions that are equivalent. We will be doing this in both English and Spanish so that we can get the review and then you can do your assignments on Study Island. So the first question says, what fraction of the circle is shaded? So our key word here is they're asking us for the number of parts shaded. So my fraction is talking about the number of shaded parts over the total number of equal parts. Remember that a fraction has to have equal parts. So here now, let's count how many parts are shaded. 1, 2, 3. So since the shaded parts, there are 3, we're going to put that number in the numerator. Now we're going to count the number of total equal parts. We're going to start here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So my fraction here is 3/6. Or we could see it in word form, 3/6. On Study Island, they're going to be asking you to identify fractions that are shaded. Now we're going to look at that question in Spanish. ¿Qué fracción representa la parte sombreada de esta figura? La pregunta está buscando por las partes sombreadas. Y cuando estamos haciendo una fracción en el numerador, la pregunta nos dice que quieren la parte sombreado. Sobre las partes iguales. ¿Ok? Vamos a contar cuántas están sombreadas. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ese número va en el numerador. Luego vamos a contar los números de partes iguales. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Entonces esta fracción es 4/6. 4/6. ¿Ok? Ahora, ¿cómo se representa la fracción en inglés? En una línea recta, en una recta numérica. What fraction is represented by point F on the number line? So since this is a number line, they want to know where is point F. So here we see that this is point F. So remember that when we have a number line, we need to count the number of parts. This number line is only from 0 to 1. So every fraction is less than a whole. So we're going to count the number of parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So then there are 8 parts. So all of these represent a fraction of 1. And they are all 8ths. So point F represents that fraction there, 7/8. So now we're going to look at that question in Spanish. ¿Qué fracción nombra el punto F de la recta numérica? Punto F es lo que queremos encontrar y es aquí. Vamos a contar las partes primero para encontrar la fracción que representa punto F. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hay 6 partes en total, entonces 6 va a ser mi denominador. Recuerda que un entero se representa con el mismo número en el numerador y el denominador. En esta pregunta, punto F representa 4/6. Ahora, en inglés, use the models to compare the following fractions using greater than, less than, or equal. So we're going to use the models here. But so if we notice, we're looking at fractions that have the same denominator. So what is the fraction here? Then we need to find what is the fraction here. Shaded parts, there are 2. And then total number of parts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there are 8 parts here. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 shaded. How many parts in all? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So on this model, we have 2 8s shaded. On this model, we have 4 8s shaded. So remember that when we have the same denominator, we just use our marker to cover the bottom ones. So which number is greater, the 2 or the 4? You're correct if you said the 4. So we just need to put the 2 8s is less than 4 8s. So on the Spanish example, we're going to look at different denominators, but it will be done in Spanish. So here dice, usa los modelos para comparar las fracciones, mayor que, menor que o igual a, usando estos símbolos. Antes que nada, tenemos que poner la fracción que representa este modelo. Hay uno sombreado de los 4 partes en total. Así que este es un cuarto sombreado. Este tiene 2 partes sombreados. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. De 6 partes. Entonces aquí estamos viendo denominadores que son diferentes. Cuando tenemos denominadores que son diferentes, aquí se usa la estrategia Butterfly Method. Vamos a multiplicar 4 por 2. 4 por 2 es igual a 8. En esta parte vamos a multiplicar 6 por 1. 6 por 1 es igual a 6. ¿Cuál de estos números es más grande, el 6 o el 8? El 8. Pero recuerda que estamos comparando fracciones, así que un cuarto es mayor que 2/6. Now for the final example of a fraction question you may see on Study Island. The word equivalent, remember, means equal. So whenever we look at this problem, you are going to find the equivalent fraction to the part that's shaded. It says, which fraction is equivalent to the shaded area above? So shaded is my key word, and so is equivalent. Equivalent wants to know that it's equal. So here on this question, we're looking for a fraction down here that's equivalent to this fraction up here. But we don't see fractions, we see models. So therefore, we have to turn them into fractions. Here, this has 1 part shaded over 1, 2, 3 parts. And we're going to do the same for all of them before we find an equivalent fraction. This has 2 parts shaded, and it has 1, 2, 3, 4 parts. This has 1 part shaded over 2 parts. 1, 2, 3 parts shaded over 6. 2 parts shaded over 6. So none of these answers has 1/3. So that means I need to do a little bit of work here. So I'm going to take 1/3 and compare it to each fraction to see which ones are equivalent. Now remember, this will take some time, but if you use pencil and paper for the Study Island questions, you can solve it. So 3 times 2 is 6. 4 times 1 is 4. So is the 4 equal to 6? No, they are not equal, so A cannot be my answer. So now let's go to B. For B, we had 3 6. So I'm going to compare 1/3 with 3 6. And I'm going to do the butterfly method to see if they're equivalent. 3 times 3 is 9. 6 times 1 is 6. Is my 6 equal to 9? No, it is not. So they are not equal. So now let's try C. For C, I have 1/2. So I'm going to compare 1/3 to 1/2 and do the butterfly method. 3 times 1 is 3. 1 times 2 is 2. Is my 2 equal to 3? No, it is not. So they are not equal. So now hopefully on my last answer it does equal. But if it doesn't, then I need to go back and review. 1/3. And I'm comparing it to 2 6. I'm going to do the butterfly method. 3 times 2 is 6. 6 times 1 is 6. So is my 6 equal to 6? Yes, it is. So then this one is my answer choice. D is my answer choice. So on Study Island, you do not have to draw the models, but you will have to do this kind of work on the paper so that you can find the answer that is correct. Please try your best because this is a review. Now we will do it in Spanish. La pregunta dice, ¿cuál fracción es equivalente a la parte sombreada de la figura arriba? Antes que nada, quieren la parte sombreada. Y estamos buscando la fracción o el fracción que es equivalente. Equivalente es una palabra que significa igual a. Y están viendo las partes sombreadas, solamente vamos a contar las partes sombreadas. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. De 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 partes. Ahora, ninguna de estas respuestas es igual a 6 duodécimos. Así que tenemos que hacer un poquito más de trabajo. Vamos a comparar la fracción con cada respuesta. Ahorita, esta es la respuesta en A. Voy a multiplicar 12 por 1. 12 por 1 es igual a 12. 6 por 2 es igual a 12. 12 es igual a 12. ¿Es cierto? Sí, son igual. Pero antes que nada, tenemos que revisar cada respuesta. Así que voy a ir a la respuesta en B. Voy a usar 6 duodécimos y lo voy a comparar con 1/3. Voy a multiplicar 12 por 1. 12 por 1 es igual a 12. 6 por 3 es igual a 18. 18 y 12 no son igual, así que este no puede ser mi respuesta. Ahora voy a comparar 6 duodécimos con 1/4. Quiero saber si son igual. 12 por 1 es igual a 12. 6 por 4. 24. Estos números, la pregunta, ¿son iguales o no? No son iguales, así que no pueden ser equivalentes. Ahora mi última respuesta era 1/6 y lo voy a comparar con 6 duodécimos. 12 por 1 es igual a 12. 6 por 6 es igual a 36. Estos números no son iguales, así que no pueden ser la respuesta. Mi respuesta es A.